Okay, so I just finished my math class, and again today they started playing the ice cream truck in the background, the ice cream truck song in the background. Now, you know, people may hear it and they think nothing of it, but me being the person that I am, I know the history of the ice cream truck song. Okay, particularly why it was written and who it was written about. And so, like I said, normally they would send me messages calling me the N word and such, and I've exposed it. I have the videos where I play the messages and stuff like that. And they haven't done it in, a couple months. But now they're using the ice cream truck song, right? Because obviously they know I know what it means. So they're using it in the background of my math class. And again, they figure because I signed that contract about not discussing things that happen. But again, we're talking about personal stuff that people talk about, which I'm not going to do. But you will hear the teachers, the professor voice explaining a math problem. And I'm not sure if I couldn't make it out, but maybe upload it to YouTube. Because I had to record it through my headphones, right, which I use for class. And so let me play it. You guys see the ice cream truck in the background? Okay, I'm putting that in my headphones so you guys can hear it. But let's say if you figure that 1 minus 3i is a solution. Okay. Probably, I don't know if you hear it. When I try to listen to it through the phone, I couldn't hear it. So I don't really know if you can make it out or not. But it happened twice. And it happened whenever she said the letter X. Okay? And I'm thinking, okay, there's either two things, right? But I'm going to do what I think is the most important. And again, it refers to Malcolm X. Because lately, I also had Facebook, a lot of images posted of Malcolm X. And so I don't know if there's any combination of any, not any combination, but any relation to that. But, maybe so. I don't know. We're talking about racist people within the United States government who've made it their one of their number one issues is to make sure that there isn't no black leader, at least not the one that they put out front to be black leaders, such as athletes and people in the churches who basically are to pacify black people, those in the churches, and the athletes is to give black people a false sense of the reality of the majority of black people live in some wealthy lifestyle, which we know that that's not true. We know that the vast majority of black people don't live like that. That the vast majority of black people are working class, not even middle class, but are working class and working class poor. Okay? Understand that. All right? And don't let their delusional reality, which they've put into your mind, stop you from seeing true reality. Okay? For what reality is. All right? So they, like I said, they know what they're doing. Okay, they may not leave me any text messages or any voice messages anymore, calling me with playing songs with the N word, but they know if they play the ice cream truck song, I know what it means, right? So for those of you who don't know what the ice cream truck about the ice cream truck song and what it actually means, I am going to play the song for you. Let me move this down.
Ice cream! Come up there, ice cream! Watermelon! Well, I went down to Coercive the other afternoon. There was all a yellow girl, her name was Susie Lou. She was sitting on the rail with the heels in the fan. She ate watermelon, the fish in the pan. Says I'm a Susie dear, when you keep your heart to me. You keep a heart of boy, visit don't you see? The juice from the watermelon trickles down the chin. Make me sing 100 hours and you like to sing. Send a nickel of a watermelon, nickel of a watermelon, Hurry up, the make to
Okay, now talking to black people, and it's not funny, okay? But seriously, you have black children running up to ice cream trucks with this song is playing, as well as adults. Me too. I used to, until, I think I had told this ice cream truck guy, I was maybe last year or so, me and my daughter, my son went to I was like, yo, man, you need to stop playing that song. Okay? But you have ice cream trucks showing up in black neighborhoods, black kids buying ice cream trucks with a song that's playing that's calling them a nigga. And excuse me, I don't like to use the word, but I'm using it in this context. Okay? They're calling you and I niggas. I want you to think deep and understand, right? The efforts, not just economic, social, educational, but the psychological warfare and the effort put into engaging in dark psychology, negative psychological conditioning to our people. So what other song or jingles out there that's totally disrespecting black people that we're singing? There is a video on YouTube, I think I posted on Facebook. It talks about racist nursery rhyme songs that my mom used to sing to me when I was younger. I've heard other people singing this when I was younger. I stopped singing them songs. My kids have never heard these songs. Like, at least I've never sung it to them, like "Eeny Meeny Miny Mo." Right? "Eeny Meeny Miny Mo, catch your neck by his toe." That was the original song. Okay? So I want you to understand how we are conditioned. When we worship white people who slaughter, murder, rape, kill, sodomize, flat out rob us as a people, that is why the rest of the world, people, don't have the respect for us as they do for their own self and for others. When it comes to black people, we are disrespected daily, not just by Caucasian people, but by other black people who consider themselves different because they have straight hair, right? But who are blacker than you and I, not understanding that there are many variations of black people. There are many phenotypes looking black people, facial. Yeah, black people with thin nose, long nose, thin lips. You have black people with, again, that's the so-called European features, right? But, that's not something that's out of black people's facial characteristics, right? So I'm talking about places like India, where the vast majority of people there are black, right? And you have a lot of them thinking that they're not black. And then the ones that understand the history, some of us want to, cast them aside. But they understand our history more than we understand our history, right? But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. I kind of get sidetracked. I love to, go off somewhere, but it's to make a point. But anyway, so now they're playing this song in the background because, again, they got you believing whatever it is they want you to believe, whatever false narrative they want you to believe about me, right? And so now they feel that, yeah, we've got these N words on board, so now we're just going to go all out on this N word. Okay? So, it's a sad day. It's sad. It really is sad that our people are so easily manipulated. And it's not our fault. We are dealing with technology, not just psychological, but technology that causes also psychological manipulation. But technology, nonetheless, that is able to condition our mind without us ever even knowing it. And when I try to expose it and talk about it and share information about it, not a peep. So the question is, for me, is that are we as a people so afraid of these technologies that we don't want to know about it? Or is it that we've been conditioned to believe that only God can control our minds? Even though we see day after day how we're manipulated, how others are manipulated. I mean, sure, they in the 1950s they had a video on how to assault the black people. You ever see a video on how to assault the white people? You ever see a video on how to assault the Asian people? You ever see a video on how to assault the Indian people? Hmm? But there are videos out there talking about how to assault the black people because we've been studied like how they study animals in the wild. Okay? And if you don't think that they will go to any length to destroy anyone who they even think have the remote possibility of being some leader, I'm not saying that's me, of being some leader, okay, and someone who they can't control, someone who didn't choose Christianity but choose their own African spirituality, that they're not a threat that needs to be taken down and destroyed. We have to think broader than that as a people. We have to think how they have systematically eliminated any leader, any celebrities that become conscious, that want to advance black people, not through religion, but socially and economically, what has been done to them. And they will manipulate that person. They will use women. Okay? They will try to manipulate that individual using young women also. It is, it's a sad day, you know, and I think a lot of people are afraid to even know the truth because they want to believe in their own autonomy. They want to believe that they have control over their own life. Okay? But let me tell you something. They may let you live a little bit comfortably, right? But you know in the back of your mind that when you start making that money, that you ain't going to be talking about let's build, industries for black people to work in. Because you know what they'll do. Okay? So let's be honest. Right? You know, or maybe you don't know, that they've developed technologies that if you think taking up arms, such as guns, knives, whatever, bombs, whatever, okay, for this so-called race war they're trying to create, understand this, right? They didn't spend billions and billions of dollars mapping out the human brain, identifying every neuron, identifying every stimulus, everything you touch, what neuron lights up in the brain to identify whatever touch, smell, taste, sight you and I see. Okay? Did you know that they now can identify who you are through what is called brain fingerprint? Brain fingerprinting. Do you know what brain fingerprinting is? Guess what, people? They are able to identify each and every one own consciousness, because that is unique to us, just like our fingerprint. Our consciousness is unique to us, and they can identify the part of the brain which house our consciousness. Okay? Don't believe me? Look it up. We have to be smart. We have to understand white supremacy, truly understand white supremacy. It's not just discriminating you from preventing you from getting a job or discriminating you from getting a loan at a bank. That's part of it too. But there's a broader part of white supremacy that you need to understand and you need to be aware of. So when people are sharing information, particularly when it's coming from government sources, right? Don't ignore it. Learn about it. Yes, it's scary as shit. But guess what? When you know, you'll be better prepared. You have a better understanding so that you're not manipulated. Okay? At least to the extent than when you didn't know. And you guys need to understand something. Silent sound spread spectrum. Okay? Remote neural monitoring and what they call synthetic telepathy. And if you think these things are new technology, go do some research. Understand that they've been working on these things since the 50s and 60s. Okay, there's a book by Dr. Jose Delgado in which he talks about the being able, in the future to control people using radio waves, microwaves. So you keep thinking that God is the only one that's in control of your mind. Okay? You're going to have a surprise. A very, very big surprise. All right, that's it for my video.